Danny, a double header this bank holiday weekend. First with York on Friday and then Dagenham on Monday. What's your thoughts going into it?
Big weekend, getting to crunch time. Like I said, obviously 3 points now technically are no different to 3 points at the start of the season, but psychologically I think it plays a big part if we were to get 6 points over the next few days against two real tough teams. Some would say that neither have got much to play for. I beg to differ at this level when lads are playing for new contracts, and especially York with the manager there's interim to end the season. They might have a new guy coming in the summer. Strevs has just gone in at Dagenham, so he will have to make his mind up on people with new contracts. So they'll certainly be playing things on both fronts. York aren't technically safe. Others may disagree with me, but I think until you're mathematically safe, players won't take it for granted. They've had a good run. I think they've got 7 points from the last 12 games, which isn't bad at all. Certainly not relegation return, that's for sure. So I'm sure they'll bring a few supporters, and as I always say, that to most teams that come here, nearly all of them are going to be the underdog. So we'll have that pressure on us, and they'll have that lack of pressure on them. So yeah, massive answer to your question, Liam. 6 points would be much appreciated.
Absolutely. How much importance do you put on this weekend then? Because it's an opportunity, isn't it, to really sort of stamp your marker on that third spot?
Yeah, it is. And you can sit here and say, it's all about us, which it is. But there will be an eye, obviously, on other people's results after the game, both games. So in an ideal world, we get 6 and our nearest rivals get 0. That's probably unlikely in terms of the opposition getting 0. I think we've got every chance of getting 6 points if we're at it, even though York and Dagenham will probably beg to differ. But obviously Wokin's results, we're hoping they go in our favour. But if Woking get 0 points and we get 0 points, what a wasted opportunity that'll be. So yeah, it's all about us in terms of the initial points return, but I'd be lying if you said we weren't going to check other people's scores after the game.
York tomorrow then first. What have you made of them? What have you seen of them?
I think they've had a real topsy-turvy season, haven't they, really, I suppose, on and off the pitch. I think they were obviously a bit gutted they couldn't progress in the trophy, so that would have been a nice end for them for the season. It looks like probably they're gonna stay in the league, and I'm sure there's a bit of confusion from their supporters what next season brings, and that isn't our problem. What they've got some good players in that team. The lad Ford was at Watford briefly when I was there, and John Lewis obviously has been there and done it. So they've got players on both ends of the spectrum who are keen and hungry and rapid and fearless, and lads who know their way around this league. So yeah, we're gonna have to be on our game. They're certainly not a naive team. They're a team that probably I would think as a group of players they've got would have liked to have done a bit more this season, but we're playing them after forget about Barnet being tired and all that. They had a really good result against Barnet and played really well. So fair play to Michael and his staff and his team, and they'll be coming here fearless, and we've got to make sure we send them packing with 0 points.
I'm just wondering, at this stage of the season, would you rather play teams who have got something to play for, or would you rather play teams who haven't? Because you could argue they could come here a little bit more tense, they could come here a little bit more relaxed. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I suppose, Liam, the common thought has always been, the sort of former, in terms of you'd rather them have something not to play for, because they are like relaxed, but then obviously, like you say, you play a team with a have to win, and the pressure and the nerves can get to them. So for me, it's all about hindsight, innit? If we go and win tomorrow 3-0, then we're glad we're playing a team that aren't necessarily playing for too much. But yeah, it's all about hindsight. I think really it works both ways. I think obviously we've got pressure on our shoulders at the minute massively to finish third. We should have maybe close to 7,000 or 8,000 tomorrow, which would be fantastic. All Spireites wanting us and expecting us to win, and York won't have that pressure. So if we were playing a team, maybe Woking or Notts County or even Wrexham, both teams have got equal pressure of different circumstances. So yeah, I haven't really answered the question, have I? But yeah, I think it's always about hindsight. I think I've been in both dressing rooms myself as a player and coach when there's not much to play for. and your message to the players, go and enjoy yourself, go and express yourself, nothing to lose. And the same one is, come on boys, we can't afford to lose. So ask me again on Tuesday.
You mentioned the word there, pressure. Do you think you've got enough experienced characters in the dressing room to deal with that?
Yes, yeah, I think so. I think we've gone quite a few games now without conceding the goal. We've gone quite a few games now without losing, and it's an important part of the season to not necessarily find your form, but to play well and to keep the door shut. I think if we continue to be so strong at the back, we're always going to score. I'd like to think we're always going to score. Yes, there's been criticism that we should have won by more goals at Woking, and rightly so. We missed some good chances at Maidenhead, but so did they. And we, so you've got to ride your luck at times. Mikulski puts that in, and we lose 1-0. We're more sick than we were than we didn't win the game. So there's always a lesser of two evils to take into account. We come away from Maidenhead, a tough place with a point. Very disappointed not to have won, and let's not hide the fact we're very disappointed not to have won. But we now got to back that up with another clean sheet and a win tomorrow. And it's the old saying, and each day as it comes.
And as you say, 4 clean sheets in a row, and I'm reliably told that it's Lawrence Maguire's 150th Chesterfield appearance tomorrow. How much of a difference has he made to the back four?
He's been fantastic. He's been just Loz, he's been so consistent in his attitude in or out of the team. He's come in, and I think the way we're playing him is, obviously last season he was so used to being that left side of the three when we were doing ever so well. And so it's not too dissimilar from that, even though it's technically left back in a 4. So I think it comes quite natural to him because he's such an intelligent boy, an intelligent footballer. But yeah, that's a great stat for such a young lad. He loves it here, he loves the club, and I'm sure he loves playing again because he's gone a long time without any game time. And like I've always said, when players are out the team, they can come in at any time and keep the shirt. And what better example that Lawrence Maguire, and he more than anyone, I think will enjoy the success if we do get to Wembley.
The manager doesn't like to change a winning team, and you've got 2 games in 72 hours. So do you envisage maybe a few tweaks here and there just for squad rotation to keep everyone fresh and fit?
I think there's always a chance of that, Liam, this stage of the season, mate. There's always a chance of that. I think you look now up top, we've got Quigley, McCallum, Dallas, Asante will be available for selection tomorrow. So you've got a chance for 4 strikers. Probably 2 out of those 4 can play a bit deeper in that 10 position. You've got obviously Coldclough on the left, played at Maidenhead, and Manny played in the right. But backing them up, you got Jez. So we've got a real luxury of attacking players. So whatever we did do, it wouldn't be a case of just closing your eyes and hoping that person comes in and does okay. We believe in all the players, but the manager, like he showed in that run earlier in the season, doesn't like to change, and he's been justified to do that because if it's not broke, don't fix it. Within that, there's a level of caution and sensibility to say, well, okay, this player is feeling it, and at the moment, touch wood, I'll tell you different after training, but players aren't reporting anything. We've got a fully fit squad to choose from tomorrow. Probably Dobbs is still a doubt. He's going to try it today, but probably a doubt still. So unless there's any complaints of stiffness, we've been lucky we've gone without the Tuesday games. Obviously Monday will be probably a new set of questions from yourself because I see how tomorrow goes first and any knocks and bruises. But in terms of tomorrow, I think whether we keep the same team or change it, there'll be an element of freshness whatever happens because everyone's raring to go.
That's good news about Dobbs then, whether he does or doesn't make it. What's sort of his week been like up to this point? Obviously,
like the manager Adam Ipswich knows him, knows how keen he is. Everyone saw the other week how keen he is to play. He wants to be successful as an individual and with the team. Without him, we've done really well. With him, we've done really well. So he's more keen than anyone to get back and be involved. At the same time, we're going to be in the playoffs. Where we finish, hopefully it's higher than lower. And he will be a massive part of that. So it's important we don't push him too early for the sake of it. I think tomorrow may be a game too early, or a game or two too early. But he's certainly been looking on the board this morning. I won't tell you what game he's definitely aiming for to come back and start. But yeah, he won't be starting tomorrow. Whether he's involved is another matter.
Great stuff. And you mentioned Asante then, so has he had some training minutes this week?
Yeah, he's definitely available for the selection, whether it to be to start or to be on the bench or to not be involved at all, because we've got such a strong squad at the moment. But yeah, he's raring to go. We've missed him. He's missed playing, and hopefully he can come back and start getting some goals to help us nail that third place.
A few fans just asking about Tim Akinola. He's not been involved for a little while. Yeah. Is it just the fact that you've been winning, or is there an injury there?
No injury. I think the first game he wasn't involved was at Wildstone away. Sorry if I got that fact wrong. I think he'd been on the bench before. I think that was the first game he actually wasn't on the bench, and that wasn't through injury. That was through just selection and tactical reasons. And it's tough because I know he's obviously a favourite with a lot of the supporters. He's an all-action player, energetic. He wears his heart on his sleeve out on the pitch and gives his all. So to say that he hasn't been involved shows how well A, the others have been doing, and B, what a good squad we've got. And he hasn't been the only one. Both left backs, Brown and Bailey, have almost taken it in turns to be on the bench or not at all. Shex has done really well and then sometimes found himself not on the bench. Tyrone, what a player he's been for us. It's and I feel bad if I've left anyone out of that, because I'm sure there's quite a few that haven't been involved that I haven't mentioned. But yeah, sadly for Tim, he's just missed the cut in terms of making the bench. But it's nothing that he hasn't done. It's nothing to do with attitude or application or even ability. It's just each game. And I think you've seen now with the subs, it's not a situation of just me and the Gaff and Gary look at each other and going, oh well, what should we? He's got to come on now, because that's what we always do. It's a real discussion now because of the quality and the different changes we can make. But yeah, like a lot of the players that haven't been involved, like all of the players that haven't been involved, Tim's attitude's been spot on in training, and I'm sure he'll play a big part in the running, whatever that is.
And tomorrow you could come up against two former players in Alex Whittle and Fraser Kerr. How much did you enjoy working with those two?
Yeah, good lads. Enjoyed them both. I think when I first come in, I didn't really know many of the players individually under the previous manager, which was one I took to straight away. Right, a chirpy character and a good lad, and I know he's very popular here and rightly so. And he's moved on, and I know that York fans feel the same about him. So, apart from tomorrow, I hope him and Fraser have a successful end of season.
And I take it that Danny Rowe can't play against us tomorrow, as part of his loan.
No, not unless he puts a mask on. He's not down to play, obviously, by the rules and regulations in his loan agreement. And it's the same with Paul McCallum at Dagenham on Monday.